Okay, students, today we're going to cover section 7.4, applying properties of similar triangles. And the theorem that we need to be familiar with is called triangle proportionality theorem. And in this theorem, what we need to make sure we understand is that whenever you compare parts of a triangle, you can set them up as a proportion. Like, for example, here it says if a line parallel to the side of a triangle intersects the other two sides, we're talking about this one here, the line XY, then it divides those sides proportionally, which means that the segment BX over XA, that would be equal to BY over YC. But what we need to make sure we have is that XY, it's parallel to AC. Then we can say that the pieces are proportional. The example that is given, it says find EG, and EG is this piece right here. See, they're giving us the pieces here. GF is 6, FH is 5, and HD is 7.5. So here we're comparing EG is to GF, so we're getting the two pieces of the side as a ratio, and that is equals to DH over HF. You plug in the numbers, we don't know EG, 6 is GF, 7.5 is DH, and 5 is HF. Then you just cross multiply, divide by 5, and you get the 9. Now the converse of that theorem says if the line divides two sides of a triangle proportionally, then it is parallel to the third side. So here it's saying if the line divides the two sides, then the sides will be proportional. So in example number 1, they're asking us to find the length of each segment. And the segment in number 1 is RQ. So I'm going to put an X in RQ. And when I set up the proportion, we can have NR is to RQ as PS is to SQ. Then I can substitute those values, the ones that are given. NR is 12, so it's 12 is to RQ, we don't know what that is, equals to 6, which is PS, over 7, which is what QS is. Then we just cross multiply. 7 times 12, that is 84, so let me put it on the side. 84 equals 6 times RQ. We just divide both sides by 6. So RQ, segment RQ, 6 into 8 goes 1, goes once, remainder of 2, 24 divided by 6 is 4. So RQ is 14. Now go ahead and try problem number 2. At this point, Mr. King, would you please stop this video? Just pause it for a minute. Okay guys, what you were supposed to have done is set up the proportion, and the proportion for this problem, it's Km over Mj equals NL over Jn. Then you were supposed to substitute the values, so it's 20 over 16 equals 38 over Jn. Then you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you get 20J equals 608. When you divide by 20, that gives you 30.4. If you got that answer, you got your problem right. Well, let's go ahead and move on now to problem number 3. And in problem number 3, what they're asking us to do is to show that TU and WX are parallel. So the sides, the pieces of the sides are given. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we show that the sides are proportional, then if the sides are proportional, then we can conclude that the lines TU and WX, line segments, are parallel. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So first, we're going to go ahead and set up the proportion, which is going to be 18 over 45. Is that equals, I'm going to put a question mark here, to 6 over 15. Then you reduce the 18 and the 45. The number that goes into 18 and 45, the biggest factor would be 9. So 9 into 18, that is 2. 9 into 45, that is 5. And on the right side, there's a factor that goes into 6 and 15. The greatest factor that goes into 6 and 15, that would be 3. 3 into 6 is 2. And 3 into 15, it's 3. It's 5, I'm sorry. So are the ratios the same? Yes, it is. Therefore, let's make the conclusion. 3 dots. Let's put here, since the sides are proportional, comma, then segment TU, it's parallel to segment WX, period. Okay. Okay, you guys, now let's go ahead and move on to the second page. And on this second page, they're presenting the triangle angle bisector theorem. This theorem, it says an angle bisector of a triangle divides the opposite sides into two segments. So this is the angle bisector AY. It divides the opposite sides, which in this case, these two, into two segments whose lengths are proportional to the lengths of the other two sides. So these two pieces, BY, would be compared to the side which is AB, and YC would be compared to AC. So the ratio would be BY over YC. So here they're comparing it, the base to the base, and then the side of the triangle with the side of the triangle. So as BY is to YC as AB is to AC. So BY is to YC as AB is to AC. Then the ratios are the same. So since we can use that triangle angle bisector theorem, in the example given it says find LP and LM. Okay, LP and LM. They set up the proportion, which is LP. LP is where X is to PN, so it's on the base, as LM or ML is to NM. They plug in the numbers, they cross multiply. Once you find the X, you go back and you plug it into LM and you get the 7.5. So let's go ahead and do problem number 4. Okay, if we set up the proportion to find the missing sides, the proportion would be EF is to FG as ED is to DG. We substitute the values. That would be X is to X plus 2 as 8 is to 12, and then we cross multiply. Okay, the product of the extremes would be 12x. The product of the means would be 8 times x plus 2. Then we distribute. So it's 12x equals 8 times x is 8x. 8 times 2, that would be 16, so it's plus 16. Then we combine the like terms, move the 8 over, subtract from 12, that would be 4. 4x, and then divide by 4. So x is equals to 4. Since I need to go back and plug it in into FG, that would be 4 plus 2, that would be 6. So my values are okay, let me get the eraser, erase this. That is EF equals 4 and FG equals 6. Okay. Now let's go ahead and try problem number 5. Go ahead and work on it at your own, and then we'll check the answer. Number 5. Mr. King, would you please pause this video for a minute? Thank you. Okay, so the first thing you were supposed to have done is set up the proportion, and the proportion is ST over TV equals RS over RB. When you substitute the values, you should have 16 is to y plus 3 as 40 is to y over 3y. Then you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you multiply the extremes, that's 48y, and then you multiply the means, which is 40 times y plus 3. That is 40y plus 120. Subtract 40 from 48 is 8y. Divided into 120, that is 16. Then after that, the last step is substitute them into the missing pieces, which is RV, 15 times 3 is 45, and TV, which is 15 plus 3, which is 18. Now at this point, please go ahead and complete the last two, number 6 and number 7. And what we're going to do is the following. When you complete those two problems, I'm going to go ahead and have Mr. King, if you could please, in a minute, you can go ahead and pause this video. What I want you to do is work in number 6 and number 7. Mr. King is going to know the answers. What I want you to do, Mr. King, is if you could please stamp whoever got the right answers for number 6 and number 7. That way they can get 10 extra points in their assignment. So you're going to stamp their assignment paper. That way they get their extra points. Okay, so you guys, this is your exit ticket, so you can get your extra points. So work in problems number 6 and number 7. And in about 3 minutes or so, Mr. King, if you could please, play the video once everybody had attempted the problems. And you're going to go ahead and exchange the paper with somebody else, so somebody else can check that for you. Okay, so in about 3 minutes, play the video and you're going to know what the answers are for number 6 and number 7. Good luck, guys. Okay, so the answers for number 6 are 16 and 20. The setting is 4 is to 5 as x minus 1 is as x plus 3. When you cross multiply, you're going to have 4x plus 12 equals 5x minus 5. Subtract 4 is 1x. Add 5 is 17. Then you went and you plug it in. For number 7 is supposed to be HL is to LK as HJ is to JK. When you cross multiply is 14 times 2y minus 4 and 21 times y plus 1. When you distribute, it's 12y minus 56 equals 21y plus 21. You subtract 21 from 28 is 7, and you add 56 to 21, and that's 77. Y is equals to 11. And the answer for that problem is JK is 18 and KL is 12. Okay, so if you got those two problems, please, Mr. King, stamp those papers of the students who had that right. Thank you so much, and please, guys, work on the assignment, and this will be due tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.